When it rains, it pours. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update. I'm wishing you all a happy Monday. And as always, if you are new to this channel and finding yourself on our videos for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one around 1 p.m. UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be starting things off with the Bitcoin chart. Given the price action that we are seeing, and altcoins are getting hit particularly hard, there is a spillover here in regards to the kind of macroeconomic environment. There's a lot of uncertainty being reintroduced into the markets with the likes of inflation. Will the Fed, won't the Fed cut this year? What Jerome Powell had to say in the last sort of FOMC, I think, left more questions than answers. And the markets don't like uncertainty, plain and simple. It's seen the dollar do quite well. We had that unemployment stat that came out higher than a lot of people expected, but we've also had lower than expected inflationary data. There's a lot of uncertainty in regards to the markets. And crypto, unfortunately, is a part of that ecosystem and really will bear the brunt of it. When we say high beta, that's what we mean. It's a higher volatility asset in relation to the other kind of risk asset that gets affected or that get affected by the same kind of thing. So there's a lot of that going on right now. We'll be looking at Bitcoin, assessing how bad is it. Now, for some altcoins, it's pretty terrible. But are they in a good spot in regards to the bull market that we still think we are in for the majority of risk out there? Altcoins being a little bit slow. I think a lot of them have broken out, though. You know, some altcoins were still hundreds of percent up despite this recent pullback. But ultimately, I do think we're in a good spot generally right now, even though it might not seem it on the short term. So we are going to be sort of talking about that to start the video off. And then we're going to be looking at a number of things. We are going to be talking about how the US need crypto in the form of stablecoins to maintain the dollar's dominance. We'll also be looking at, before we dive into that, because that's quite a broad topic that I want to kind of close things up on, a report from CoinShares. It showed quite a large volume, nearly 600 million in terms of outflows for Bitcoin last week. And of course, we've got sentiment coming in with 10 and above Bitcoin wallets are now climbing to high. So there is accumulation going on, as well as perhaps dumping last week from the ETPs, the exchange traded products. But let's kick things off with, as promised, Bitcoin. So it's absolutely my assessment still, and we'll take all the draws off, that we are in an uptrend and that the bull market is here and that we're not doing anything too different to what we've done in previous cycles. The only difference perhaps being is that this is the first cycle where Bitcoin's gone on and put in a high pre the halvening. So I think that's a good sign, not a bad sign. If you look at traditional cycles, and let's actually pull it up, not only do you have things very much being in line in regards to what typically happens seasonality around this time of year, but we also have Bitcoin very much doing what it does post-halvening every time. And, you know, you can see this sort of sideways consolidation period. You kind of come back. You know, Bitcoin's had a fantastic run. It kind of deserves a bit of a break, although that break, unfortunately, is very volatile because this is crypto, and a lot of people can't handle that. There's always this kind of period of cooling off, if you will, after a halvening. But we still think the vast majority of the bull market is ahead of us and that this is just a pullback until proven otherwise. And you can see when we look at Bitcoin on a sort of macro time frame, weekly is what we're referring to. This is still very much in an uptrend. And I do believe higher prices are programmed. Certainly, we've got a technical target for 151,000. If we dive down to Bitcoin on the short time frame, there is still the potential, and I do still believe this is going to square up and turn out to be just a pullback in what is a broader uptrend. And I'm not seeing too much cause for concern just yet. We're still looking for a potential short-term right shoulder to form that could see Bitcoin run to the 91,000 mark. We'll leave all these draws on and, of course, let you know when we're invalidated. Yes, altcoins getting hit particularly hard, but if we go over and we look at the altcoin market, there is still the possibility, and we are still looking at this as our base case. So not only have we assessed that we're in what we like to call a phase 2, check the link in the description, guys. We are releasing, and you can sign up for it. If you sign up for it now or you sign up to our newsletter, you will get a discount. It's totally free, and we'll let you know. We'll alert you straight away when the course is with your discount, when the courses are done, where we break the market. We really extend on what Charles Dow tried to do, what Stan Weinstein tried to do, and, of course, what Wyckoff tried to do. We've developed something that we're calling the market mastery, where we basically are trying to teach people technically how to predict what the future may look like. And by the end of that course, you will have had a go at trying to predict the future. And obviously, if you follow the course correctly and the quiz that we have at the end of it, the kind of test we have at the end of it, you'll be able to prove to yourself that actually through technical analysis, you can kind of not perfectly predict the future, but certainly increase your odds of what comes next. But link in the description for that, also Patreon. I still believe this is going to form and play out and see the altcoin market get to $3.8 trillion, which is nearly a 4x from where it currently is. Obviously, certain altcoins are going to do better than others. My bet is that AI and DeepIn is going to be the real shiner of this market cycle, of this bull market. I also think there's some layer ones like Hedera that I think are going to do spectacularly. So on the short term, it's ugly, but in the broader context of things, I don't really think it's too much to worry about. I really don't. And we'll talk about USDT dominance in just a second. Obviously relating it to stablecoins and how they may save the United States and the dollar system. However, I don't think it's going to be USDT that does that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I actually think it's going to be Ripple, who are very well positioned. Let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing right now. So this is wallets with 10 plus Bitcoin have climbed all the way back to a 2-year holding level. This is, of course, good news. And the bad news, of course, is this is CoinShares report. I think they're now publishing it either first thing on Monday morning for me in the UK. Horrible weather here, by the way, guys. Certainly where I am in Scotland. But this is a great report to follow. It kind of shows what kind of attention you're seeing on the ETP, the exchange traded products, as they relate to crypto. And we saw, I think it was 500 million in terms of outflows for Bitcoin. You saw altcoins inflows led by Ethereum, Lido, and XRP, which is good. But obviously, Bitcoin seeing a massive amount of outflows through the ETPs. You've got that kind of seasonality of markets right now. Hang in there, guys. You know, we've just looked at the broader context of things from a technical point of view. There's a lot of uncertainty. We mentioned that at the start in regards to a macro kind of point of view, but I do think it ultimately does get resolved, in my opinion. Let's talk about how crypto can save the United States. And I don't think eventually there's any saving the United States, but I do think there's certainly stalling of it. As we know it anyway. That doesn't mean I think it's going anywhere. I just think it's going to morph from what it currently is. So this is from Mike Benz. Benz, who is the director of Freedom, former state deputy of cyber, author of a number of things. So he says the Treasury will reply to Saudi Arabia's ending of the petrodollar by heavily pushing crypto stablecoins like Tether. And we've actually speculated on this way before this was even a thing. So you've got the ending of the petrodollar agreement. And what that is, it kind of gives it away. Petrodollar is the agreement between Saudi Arabia and America that all oil should be sold in US dollars. And this is, you know, global trade is typically done in US dollars. The euro dollar market is an entire Pandora's box that we can go down at another point. But essentially, when that ends, why would, and this ties into the dollar milkshake theory, why would they trade in dollar? Certainly after what the US put on Russia, can you have a global currency? And this is a I'm not taking any sides here, by the way, guys. This is a interesting thing to bring up. Should a global currency have an agenda? Does that work? And of course, Bitcoin doesn't have an agenda, and that's why I think one reason why I think it's going to work so well as a kind of global store of value, not currency. But with stablecoins, certainly, and I've already seen this and used this at certain times in my investment career to sort of harbour Great British Pound downside against the dollar. If you have a globally accessible on a smartphone currency like the dollar, which is the strongest, could be the strongest of them all, people will flock to that, and that will further the adoption of dollars. It means you can keep issuing debt. It means you can kind of, in some ways, stave off the system. And the part here is heavily pushing Tether and Circle. Now, I don't believe it's going to be either. I think what Ripple are doing, I think they're going to become a unicorn stock, and I might be totally wrong on this, of tomorrow, just like Facebook, Amazon, all these others, and they're going to be the issuers of a stablecoin that the US is kind of on board with. Because remember, Tether, Circle is a US company, but Tether isn't a US company, and they're currently the largest issuer of stablecoins. So 3 days later, Wall Street Journal, full page spread. Treasury must promote crypto stablecoins like Tether and Circle to save us now. So unfortunately, Mike Benz, we were, even though you've got 327,000 followers, we were saying this, over a year ago now. This was from the founder of OUTFLOWS, so obviously AVAX. Stablecoins are one of the best things to come out of crypto, and they would help maintain the dominance of the dollar around the world. If the government allows US private industry will dollarize, every country on the planet via stablecoins, and domestic stablecoin companies can buy all the debt we need to issue them. So this is kind of in some ways how you could solve that debt problem. So if you had a Manhattan project for dollar hegemony to maintain, this would be the first one. Now, I don't believe, based on USDT dominance, which I think is going to roll, which is very much in line with the bull market and how things typically go, that it's going to be USDT or USDC. And if we got a dominance chart up there, no, we don't. Let's try that again. Let's try that one more time before we completely give up. We've got lower targets for both of these. So that means a new stablecoin is coming. I think it's going to be what Ripple are doing. So not only can crypto solve the dollar's problem, potentially, we've got to see, it's theoretical, it could also solve the problem that we're seeing with voting right now. So this is from Elon Musk. And I'll read Robert Kennedy's tweet first. Puerto Rico primary elections just experienced hundreds of voting irregularities related to electronic voting machines, according to an Associated Press. Elon Musk tweets, "We should eliminate electronic voting machines. The risk of being hacked by humans or AI, while small, is too high. Blockchain can solve this by voting on chain. It can solve a hell of a lot of issues. We've looked at two colossal ones during this video." And I guess that kind of ties me in perfectly with ending the video in regards to hanging in there. Yesterday we looked at the sort of real world asset sector potentially being worth $700 trillion. That's one application for this technology, and it's yet to really see anything yet. And I think it's going to. It's a case of being able to endure. First of all, you've got to understand the nature of the beast that you're dealing with. It's a volatile one. And then it's a case of being able to endure when the time's right. So we were out the market in 2022, by the way, when we saw a bear market. We've been accumulating since 2023, the 5th of January, which was literally the perfect low for most altcoins, certainly Bitcoin. And we've been buying during this time period, ultimately for what we think is to come. And if you want to find out what I've been buying, where I'm positioned, do consider becoming a patron. Also, don't forget to sign up to the newsletter for the courses when they're released. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this had cheered you up a little bit. It seems a bit doom and gloom when we're all looking at our portfolios and this and that and the other. But this is crypto. This is what this is all about. This is how it's supposed to feel. And if you can't deal with it, get the hell out of the kitchen. Cryptocurrency investing isn't for everybody. It's risky. You can lose all of your money, by the way. And I have to make that absolutely apparent. And I know many people that have. I'm fortunate enough to have been able to ride a couple of waves now, 2017, 2021, and what we believe is going to be 2024, 2025. And I hope you're all along for that journey. Not financial advice, just my own opinion. On that note, ladies and gents, I'm going to love and leave you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this daily market update as much as I've enjoyed presenting it. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you all in the next video.